Are we live? We're not on. We lost our thing here. Hold on. Oh, we're live. Good morning. You snuck up on me. All right. Pranavam Bhavana Kuma Kalabana Pavaka Gyanagam Yasuhradagha Vasin Ram Sarachabadha Atulita Baladhama Emmashala Videham Tanujavan Krishan Jnani Nama Graganyam Sakalaguna Nidhana Vanaranam Adhishan Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Atajatam Namami Goshpadi Kurtavardisham Mashaki Kritarakshasam Ramayana Mahamalaratnam Ande Nilatmajam Anjananandaram Viram Janaki Shokanashanam Kapi Samakshahanta Ande Lanka Dayankaram Nanga Sindho Salila Salila Yashokavahi Janakatma Jaya Adaitane Dadahalanka Namamitam Pranjali Aranjanayam Manojavam Marutatulya Vegam Chitendriyam Buddhimatam Vardishtam Atatmajam Vanarjutamukyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Anjaneya Matipatalana Kanchanadi Kamaniya Vigraham Ardijata Tarumula Vasanam Avehami Pavamananandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamustakanjalim. Sorry, I'm having some sound trouble. Vashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Martinamat Rakshasantakam Golobajaran Gobali Hanuman Ki Jai. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram,
Shri
Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Rama. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Rama. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Rama Bolo, Rama Bolo, Bolo Bolo Rama. Rama Bolo, Rama Bolo, Bolo Bolo Rama. Hey Rama. Sita Bolo, Sita Bolo, Bolo Bolo Rama. Sita Bolo, Sita Bolo, Bolo Sita Ram. Hey Ram. Hey Rama Bolo, Rama Bolo, Bolo Bolo Rama. Rama Bolo, Rama Bolo, Bolo Bolo Rama. Hare Rama Bolo. Hanuman Bolo, Hanuman Bolo, Bolo Bolo Rama. Hanuman Bolo, Hanuman Bolo, Bolo Bolo Rama. Hanuman. Hey Ram Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram. 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 Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, yeah, Sitaram, 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 yeah, Sitaram. Try to sing this. Shamishan nirvana rupam vibham vyapakam brahma veda swarupam nijanam nirgunam nirvikalpam niriham chitakasham akasha vasam bhajeham nirakaram omkaram mulam turiham kiragyan gotitam isham girisham karalam mahakala kalam kripalam gunagar samsar param natoham shambho sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Tusharadri Sankasha Gauram Gabhiram Manobhuta Kotip Vashri Shariram Swaram Molikallolini Charu Ganga Lasadbala Balendu Kante Bhujanga Chalat Kundalam Bhrusunetram Vishalam Prasananam Nirlakantam Dayalam Mrigadisha Charmambaram Mundamalam Priyam Shankaram Sarva Natham Bhajami Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Chandam prakrishtam pragalbam paresham akandam ajambanu koti prapasham triyashula niramula shula pani vajeham bhavani patim bhavaganyam kalathita kalyana kalpantakari Sada Sajanananda Data Purari Shidananda Sandoha Moha Pahari Prasida Prasida Prabhu Matari Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Nayavadumanatha Padharavindam Bhajanti Loke Parevanaranam Natavat Sukham Shanti Santapanasham Prasida Prabho Sarva Bhutaya Divasam Najanami Yogam Japam Eva Pujam Natoham Sada Sarva Tashambhu
tubhyam Charajanma dukhaga tatapyamanam Prasya bhavaya bhannamami Shambho Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Shambho Sadashiva Rudrashtakabidam proktam viprena haritoshe Ye patanti nara bhaktya shambhu te samprasiditi Shambho Sadashiva 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 Om Namah Shivaya 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 Sadashiva, Shambhu 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 Sadashiva, Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Shambhu Sadashiva, 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 Namah Shivaya, Om 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 Namah Shivaya, Shambhu Sadashiva, 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 Shambhu Sadashiva. Karpuragoram Karunavataram Samsarasaram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridaravinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahigam Namami. That prayer I sang at the beginning is called the,
What's it called? Shiva Stuti, or the Rudrashtakam. 8 verses to Shiva, Rudra. And it's from the Ramcharitamanas, the Tulsidas Ramayana. And it's from the part where, it's a long story, but the story of the Ramayana is being told by a crow who lives at the center of the universe. And Garuda, the king of birds, has gone to him to ask him to tell him the story of Ram. What is this Ram? Who is this Ram? And why does Shiva repeat this name of Ram? And so the crow tells the story, and then at the end, Garuda, the king of birds, asks him, you're a crow. First of all, how did you hear this story? And how did you become a crow? So the crow says well, once I was a devotee of Shiva, and I was very arrogant and stupid. And my guru was very kind and compassionate to me, but I didn't appreciate him. And I was arrogant. And one time I was in the temple sitting, supposedly meditating, and I knew that my guru had come into the temple, and I pretended that I didn't know and did not get up to honor him. And it was a Shiva temple. And at that moment, Shiva came up out of the lingam, and he cursed me for my arrogance and disrespect to my guru. And he said, you will be a crow for thousands of lifetimes. In India, the crow is considered to be the lowest of all birds because it eats garbage. And so, but the guru was so kind-hearted and loved the disciple so much, even though he was an arrogant fuck. He sings this hymn to Shiva to placate him and to ask him to please take the curse back. And this is the prayer that he sings. And I don't think I have a translation for it at hand right now, but we do have it somewhere. It's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. It's so full of love and devotion and wisdom. And anyway, so he sings this prayer to Shiva, and Shiva's placated, and he says to the guru, he said, well, I can't take the curse back, but I can change it. So he says, you will remain a crow for thousands of lifetimes, or millions of lifetimes, I don't remember. But even though you're a crow, you will be a fully enlightened being, a jnani. And not only will you know the story of Ram's Leela in this world, in this universe, but at the same time, you will see and experience his Leela in all the millions of different universes. Because in every universe, Ram incarnates, God incarnates to save the Dharma, to reestablish the Dharma in the dark times. And in every universe, he takes a form that's applicable to that universe. Here, he looked like a human being because we look like this. But who knows what they look like in other universes. But even so, Ram would take a form in that universe, in the form that's familiar to them. And so Kakabhusundi tells this story to the king of birds. But the first line, I mean, come on, I bow to the Lord of the North, whose form is liberation. These are not folks like you and me. My form is this meat puppet that's, slowly disintegrating. Shiva's form is liberation. And so is the form of Vishnu. These beings are not like us. But in essence, actually, they are just like us, because the same essence, their true nature is the same as our true nature. But we don't know that. So we are identified with our personalities, our bodies, our thoughts, our emotions. So I wish I could read you the translation, but I don't have it right here. So it's very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. I would suggest you read the Ramcharitamanas, the Tulsidasa Ramayana. It's a book that will change. It will open up new channels in your heart and mind. It was a very powerful book for me to read. I read it. Ram Dass gave it to me when he first came back from India, when I first met him. And it really opened me up in many ways. Just to absorb the way beings relate, humans relate to the avatars, to these incarnations, to the saints. It's amazing, really amazing. So, okay. Let's see. I can do this.
Jagati Nashani Durga Jaya Jaya Uma Rama Brahmani Jaya Jaya Uma Brahmani Jaya Jaya Radhe Sita
So, around New Year's, we'll be at Menla in person. A whole lot of great people. And you can check that out. Called Dreaming 2023. Annual New Year's Dharma, Yoga, Kirtan, and Astrology celebration. And if you could probably throw in a few other 100 other things there. But it should be fun. And then there's a bunch of other stuff, but forget it. I don't feel like. So the words for the Shiva Stuti have been, the link is up there somewhere. I'm not going to read them out loud, but you can read them if you want. Where'd it go? The link is up there somewhere. Okay. Are there any recordings or photos of Dada Mukherjee's visit to the U.S.? I don't know that there's any recordings around. There must be some photos too. There were no cell phones at the time, so if there were pictures taken, they're probably in a box in somebody's attic. So, I don't know what to tell you about that. Okay, are you coming to Blue Spirit in December? Yes, I am. That's one of the announcements I did not make. I will be at Blue Spirit from New Year's Eve until January 7th. Blue Spirit in Costa Rica. And I don't know if it's sold out, but you can check it out. Maybe not. The Tulsidas Ramayana there's quite a few not quite a few, there's a few translations, but the one I'm most familiar with is from the Gita Press. And I believe you can get it on Amazon. Also, there's another one from, where is it? It's over there. From another very good company in India. I think it's Motilal Banarsidas or Munshi-Ram, one of those two. But the one I like the most, because it's the one I've read, millions of times, is the Gita Press. And it's in Indian English, so it's very enjoyable. It's not too polished. Tulsidas tells the story of Rama from a different point of view, because it was in this age that Tulsidas told the story, wrote the story down. And he wrote it in verse, and he wrote it in a very devotional way. Because in this time, devotion, bhakti, and the repetition of the name is considered to be the easiest path to follow. And Valmiki first wrote down the Ramayana in a different age, for a different time, in a different way, that the people of that age understood. But at this time, we needed to have a different way of relating the story to inspire us. So, it's called the Ram Charita Manasa, which means the lake, mind-like lake of the stories of Ram. And every chapter is a a descent into the depths of the mind, heart, a deeper descent down into the depths of the mind and the heart. I don't know much about the Devi Bhagavat Purana, but it's the stories of the goddess, and just like the Bhagavat Purana is the stories of Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam. The Devi Purana is about the goddess. All the stories, all the legends, all the manifestations. Did my guru tell me to wear red or for everyone to wear red? He told me to wear red. After I had my nervous breakdown in the temple, and he was putting me back together, one of the things he told me was that I should wear red. He changed my name, actually. He tried to change my name. I didn't let him. He said to me, he said, "What's your name?" I said, "Krishna Das." And he said, "No." He said, "You're Bajrangbali." This is powerful thunderbolt body, lightning bolt body Hanuman, Vajra, Ranga, Bajrangbali. But of course, he's Hanuman, so I would not accept that name. He said, "What's your name?" I said, Krishna Das. He said, "Nay, Bajrangbali." "What's your name?" I said, "Krishna Das." "Bajrangbali." We back and forth. Then finally I said, "Okay, you want me to be Bajrangbali? Okay, but you remember, he was the eternal celibate. He'd been trying to get me married. He'd been teasing me about getting married, which was one of the things that precipitated this meltdown, one of many things. And so now he was trying to tell me that, okay, I'm trying to build me up, make me like Hanuman. So I said, okay, you want me to be, then you remember he's the eternal celibate. He just laughed. He laughed so hard, he slapped his thighs. He was laughing so hard. Then he said, okay, you're Janaka. Janaka was Sita's father, who was a Raja Rishi. He was a saint and a king, an enlightened being and a king at the same time. Very rare. And he said, you'll have, your name, you're Janaka, you'll have yoga and bhog. Yoga, of course, is union with God, and bhog is worldly enjoyments. So I got the enjoyments. How about the union with God? Okay, we'll see. That's up to him. So yeah, so then in the process, he told me I should wear red, Hanuman's color, and also, he made me the pujari of the Devi temple and told me I was already wearing my red ulfi, long red shirt. And so yeah, he didn't tell everybody, he just told me to wear red. I needed that. And it's Hanuman's color, that's why he told me to wear it. Do I still have the drum? Yes, I still have the drum that Maharaja gave me the 50 rupees for. It's around here somewhere. Where is it? Somewhere. Definitely have it. It doesn't work very well anymore. It's all, the leather straps are all stretched and the heads are, don't work very well. When I came back to the United States, somebody's asking, did I initially stay in an Eastern state of mind, or did I slip back into a more rock and roll vibe for a while? I don't know. after being in India for so many years, it was hard. Western music didn't sound right for a while. It sounded square and kind of, Eastern music was soft and deep and different feel, West Indian music. But I love rock and roll, so I was definitely into it. What time should japa be done? It should be done when you do it. I don't know anything about those rules and regulations. Nobody ever told them to me. Maharaji didn't require us to do anything like that at any time. He said, go on repeating the name, no matter what you're doing. He didn't say sit down and pretend to meditate and do it. He said repeat it all the time while you're walking around, while you're watching TV, while you're driving. But you can sit down and really concentrate or try to concentrate more on it. That's fun. That's good. But ultimately, you want it to be going all the time. But that's a big thing. It doesn't come easily. Should it be done before consuming any food? I don't know. Just do it. The more you do it, the better it is. Did Maharaji meditate underwater? There are stories of him. There was a small lake, very small lake in Gujarat, where he used to spend time and living around the lake. And when people would come to bother him, he would disappear down into the lake and stay under the water for hours and hours and hours. So obviously he did not have to breathe. He would go into some type of altered state where breathing wasn't required. Whether he was meditating or just playing around, I have no idea. But he did spend many, many, many hours underneath the water and wouldn't come up until the people left. And it just so happens that I was recently contacted by some young Indian gentlemen who have built. So one of the first places that we know of Maharaji spending time is in this area called Lavanya, which is in Gujarat. And there was a small temple there, very small, simple little temple to Hanuman, by this tal, by this little lake. And Maharaji spent some time there, and there was a woman who used to take care of him, feed him. And when he left that area, he made that woman in charge of that little temple. And she lived for many, many years, and I didn't meet her. She was already left the body by the time I went there at some point in the early 2000s, I guess, to visit that temple. And, but she was already gone. What do you know about the breastplate of Durga? Nothing. And there's a hymn or something called the Durga Kavach, which means the armor, I think, of Durga. But I don't know anything about it. Ramdas has an audio book on YouTube of the Tulsidas version. He's reading the Ramayana. I'm not sure if he's reading the whole thing or just Sundarakand, which is the chapter on Hanuman mostly. The beautiful chapter, it's called. Have I taken ayahuasca? No, I have not. I'm currently reading Discourse by Mayor Baba. Mayor Baba was quite extraordinary. He kind of claimed to be the avatar of the age. And he used to say, and he was silent. He didn't speak for many, many, many years. He used a chalkboard or a letterboard to communicate to people. But he used to write. He said, when I break my silence, the new world will come, or something like that. But he left the body without ever speaking. So who knows what he was talking about. But he was quite extraordinary, quite extraordinary. He came to America a few times, I think, at least maybe twice, maybe. He had devotees here. When there was some place in North Carolina, I think, or South Carolina, there's a Mayor Baba Center. And maybe someplace else. Ramdas had been in touch with Mayor Baba. He asked him about LSD. This is before he went to India, before Ramdas went to India, before he met Maharaji. And Mayor Baba said to him, wrote back and said, you can take it 2 or 3 more times, something like that. I forget. He said it's okay to take it 2 more times, 2 or 3, but no more. But of course, Ramdas took it many, many, many more times. But Mayor Baba had said, Richie's mine, he wrote somewhere, that Richard Albert Ramdas. He said, Richard's mine. Who knows the way these beings play? What does it mean when we say we are awareness? Good question. What it means, what we're talking about, what is referred to in that kind of statement is that our true nature is pure consciousness, awareness. Not objects of awareness, which are thoughts, emotions, trees, rooms, televisions, computers, sounds. These are all objects of awareness. So you hear a sound, the sound happened, the vibration enters your ear translates that vibration into some kind of impulse that goes to the brain through a circuit. The awareness is what hears, so to speak. The awareness is what sees. The eye receives information from the outside world. But the eye has no consciousness. It's a physical thing. What has consciousness is our true nature, which is what's aware of all the sense input that comes in. And so what they say is who we truly are, underneath all our thoughts and emotions and experiences and objects of awareness, we are that awareness. Our true nature is that. Our ego is not the awareness. Our ego is a combination of thoughts, a conglomeration of millions of thoughts and identification with those thoughts, etc. What's aware of all those thoughts is pure being, pure consciousness. That's our deeper reality. So, and that's always here. But we are glued to the input, the senses, and the thoughts. We're glued to those, we're identified with those. We think we are the body, we think we are our thoughts and emotions, etc. We believe those stories we tell ourselves. What's aware of all that is our true nature, but we're not turned towards it. We have to remember to look for it. One very simple practice is to watch your breath. There's breathing, and there's awareness of breathing. Two different things. There's breathing, and there's awareness of breathing, knowing that the breath is going in and out. You might think, well, I'm breathing. But when you think that, it's a thought, and you're aware of thinking. So you are not that thought. You are deeper than that thought, so to speak. I'm breathing. Yeah, I'm breathing. Well, there's something that's aware of that thought. So are you breathing, or is the body just breathing by itself? When you're not paying attention, the body doesn't stop breathing. The body is breathing. That's what it does until it doesn't, until consciousness leaves the body, the soul leaves the body, the package of consciousness leaves the body, which you call the soul, which you could call a soul, or the true self. And when it does, there's nothing there. There's no awareness anymore. There's no seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, or anything, or thinking. There's just a lump of flesh with nothing activating it. What activates the flesh, the life inside of the flesh, is pure being, is consciousness, awareness, which is always here. It has to be here because we're here. If we weren't here, we wouldn't be able to talk about it. So, there are meditations that focus on this pure awareness, mere attention, mere awareness. Dzogchen, Mahamudra. There are practices that turn to deal with, to become aware of the pure awareness within us, the naked awareness, with nothing. There's no object of it. It's just awareness. So they're the highest meditations, they say, but they're also very difficult because there's nothing to hold on to. We have the name, we have the mantras, we have the forms to help us slow down, and concentrate and free ourselves from other negativity and our own stuff. But these other practices are they're so simple that they're ultimately difficult. So, where did I learn to play harmonium? I didn't. How can one stop ruminating on past mistakes and being consumed by guilt? Well, if you feel you need to unravel the reasons you feel guilty, then you could go to a therapist and try to find out why you feel the way you do. At the same time, you could also practice watching your breath. And when you feel guilty, when you notice you're feeling guilty and you've agreed to yourself for 20 minutes to sit down and watch your breath, you simply let go of the guilt, of the thought, and you come back to your breath. And that develops the inner strength to let go of all those stories. sometimes therapy and practice work very well together. Maharaji ate very simply. Someone's asking what his favorite food. He ate very simply. Little squash, lokika, sabji, little squash. So very simple, not a lot of spices. I don't know what he ate earlier in life, but later in life he ate very simply. Did Maharaji buy charas for the Chilam sadhus? What did he say about the sadhus, sannyasis, and fakirs? Maharaji, I don't think he bought charas as hashish, and there are sects of sadhus who live outside all year long. They cover themselves with ashes to protect from the cold, and there are some sects of sadhus that smoke a lot of hashish, and he used to say that those sadhus need the hash to deal with the external, the cold and the heat. And he didn't smoke hash, and he didn't recommend that we smoke hash. In fact, he said, he once said, if smoking hash worked, I'd put you in a room full of it, and we'd all go in and smoke together. But not only doesn't it do anything for you, but it destroys your health. So he wasn't a fan of that. But in India, there's many different ways of practice, and there are groups of wandering sadhus and fakirs that do smoke hashish. And it's part of their lifestyle. And he wasn't against that for them, I don't think. No, I did not argue with Maharaji about the name Janaka, but I never accepted any other name than Krishnadas. And he didn't force me. He was, I mean, if he really wanted me to change my name, of course I would have, but he didn't really seem to want that. He was just playing. How do I sustain chanting for close to 3 hours? I don't know. I just sing until I'm finished. Then I stop. Is KD a celibate? Does he practice celibacy? I've been practicing it for many, many years. I haven't got it right yet. I'm still practicing. I can't get it right. No, I'm not a celibate. I thought I was going to be a celibate. In India, I was celibate for 2.5 years while I was there. But Maharaji sent me back to America, and that celibacy didn't last. I met my daughter's mother is what happened. Any tips for overcoming laziness towards meditation? The mind racing is truly frustrating. Why is it frustrating? Observe it. You can't stop it. So don't try. Observe it. But you're judging. You think you're supposed to be experiencing this or that instead of experiencing what's there. Everybody's mind's racing, but you don't notice it until you try to sit down and be quiet and stop getting entertained by the bullshit out in the world. When you try to look at yourself, all you see is thoughts. So be with that. You are not those thoughts. You are pure awareness. But we don't know that. So what you do, you pick some mantra, you pick some object of concentration, and you repeat it. When you notice you're not paying attention to what you're doing, you come back. And you do that for, 50, 60 years, maybe something will happen. Don't hurry. There's nowhere to go. I'm just joking. You could take a second. Or the idea is to develop some ability to let go of your stuff. Whatever it is that you're thinking, new things will come up, new fantasies, new ghosts from your past will arise. You let go and you come back. You let go and you come back. You let go and you come back. And as time goes on, this stuff doesn't grab you the same way. It just doesn't. Yes, Mayor Baba said, "Don't worry, be happy." That was his famous quote. One of his famous quotes. Don't worry, be happy. Yeah, he said that. I am vegan now because I've been vegetarian since 1967. Maybe, yeah, vegetarian since 1967, except for a very short period in the 80s. I think I ate a little fish in the 80s for a very short period of time. I am vegan now because I can't digest milk, not because of any philosophical position. No male on my father's side of the family ever touched cheese or milk, as far as I know. And so I was the only one. So until about 15 years ago, I was fine. But then all of a sudden I stopped being able to digest milk, dairy products. So I stopped eating them. Am I a Hindu? No, I am not a Hindu. I am a human being trying to become a good human being. As far as I'm concerned, all religions lead to the same realization. And different strokes for different folks. Different lineage, different people have different lineages, different karma. And each person follows the way that they choose to follow. I'm fine with all religions. They all work for whoever practices them. So I have nothing against any religions. I don't particularly like organized religions as a thing because it seems like organized religions create a lot of division between humans, between people, rather than bringing people together in the day-to-day kind of reality. But, that's just human beings doing it. It's not the religion, it's the people. So, any advice for someone who struggles with severe and chronic anxiety? Well, do whatever you have to do to work with that. There are medications that are helpful. There are practices that are helpful. You have to somehow you have to find a way to live in this world in a good way for you. It's possible. The anxiety has some cause, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, all three, who knows? You have to try to find a way to work with it, to unlock the secret of it, why you're feeling these things. It's very painful and not easy, some meditation could probably help, but if there's so much anxiety, you won't be able to really do it. That's why chanting is so good, because you don't get a big deal. I'm meditating now. You just sing. So chant. Chanting is great. If you feel like chanting, chant. Listen to the chants over and over and over and over again. Don't try to stop the anxiety, but listen to the chants and you may not feel so much anxiety. Put the headphones on and put eye mask on and go away. Go with the chants. See if that helps. But that could be part of a program of learning to release that anxiety and that fear and that tension. But it's something that you have to work with. It's not a mistake, though. There are reasons you feel that way. Certain situations have developed, whatever it is, whether it's physical in this body or emotional, what happens to you in this lifetime. So you can find the key to it and open that heart up. And you can, maybe someday you'll be able to develop compassion for everyone who has anxiety, just like you have. And then you won't be so focused on the way you feel all the time. I mean, the real issue is that all we do is think about ourselves all the time, all life long. Everything's about me. How am I now? What am I doing? Where am I going? Do they like me? They don't like me. Where am I? Bop, 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 bop. Am I this enough? Am I that enough? What does that person think? Everything's in relation to me, 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 me. And my state of mind, how I feel, is the most important thing in the universe. I don't think so, but we do think so. To get over that fantasy that how we feel is the most important thing in the universe is a really big thing. And it's not easy, but I wish you all the best. Do your best to solve this conundrum of why you have these issues. And look around, try different things. Okay. Everything's falling around. Guru Charan Saroj Raj Jamanamakuru Sudhari Bharano Raghubhar Bimala Jasu Chodaya Kupalachari Buddhihina Tanu Janike Smiram Pavana Kuma Siaram Balabudhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kale Sabikar Siyavara Ramachandra Padaje Sharanam Jaya Hanuman Jnana Gunasar Jaya Kapi Sati Loka Puja Rama
Baladham Anjani Putra Pavan Sutanam Mahavira Bikram Ajarangi Kumatinavar Sumati Kesang Kanchana Varana Viraja Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Atbajroda Dvaja Viraja Kande Munja Jane Usaja Shankara Suvan Kesari Nanda Eja Pratapa Mahajagabanda Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur Ramkaja Karive Koatu Prabhu Charita Sunibe Korasya Rama Lakhana Sita Manabasya Sukshma Rupa Dharisya Hindikava Vikata Rupa Dharilanka Jarava Bhima Rupa Dhari Asura Sanhari Ramachandra Ke Kaj Sanvari Laya Sajivana Lakhana Jiaye Shri Raghuvira Shira Lai Ragupati Kinhi Bahut Barai Tuma Mama Priya Bharatai Samabhai Asabadan Tumaro Jasagaon Asakahi Shri Pati Khanta Lagao Nikadika Brahmadi Munisa Narada Sharada Sahita Ahisa Yamakubera Digapala Jahante Kabiko Bidakahe Sakhe Kahante Upakar Sugriva Inkinha Rama Melaya Rajapadadinha Tumaro Mantra Bibhishanaman Lankeshwara Bhai Sabha Jagajan Yuga Sahasra Yojana Paraban Nilyotahi Madhura Palajan Prabhu Mudrika Mele Mukamahi Jaladilangi Gaye Acharajanahi Durgama Kaja Jagat Ke Jete Sugama Anugra Tumare Te Te Ram Duare Tumarakavare Otana Agya Binu Pesai Sab Sukla Hai Tumhari Sharana Tumhara Chaka Karu Kodaran Apana Teja Samaro Ape Tinon Lokahanka Tenkampe Buddha Sashana Katana Hiave Mahavira Jabanam Sunave Nasero Gahare Sabapira Chapata Nirantara Hanumatabir Sankatate Hanuman Churave Manakama Bachana Dhyana Jolave Sabapara Rama Tapasviraja Tina Ke Kaja Sakala Tumasaja Oram Manorata Jo Kovilave Sove Amita Jirvana Palapave Chalam Yuga Paratapa Tumara He Parasiddha Jagata Ujiyar Sadhu Santa Ke Tumarakavare Surane Kandana Ramadulare Ashta Siddhino Nidhi Kedata Asabaradina Janki Mata Rama Rasayan tumare pasa Sada raho Raghupati ke dasa Tumare bhajan Rama ko paave Janma janma ke dukha bisarave Anta kala raghuvara pura jai Jahan janma har bhakta kahai Or devata chittana darai Hanumata se sarva sukha karai Sankata kate mite sab pira Jo sumere Hanumata balabira Jai Hanuman Gosai Kripa karo Gurudeva kinai Jo satabara pata karakoi Chuti bandi mahasukha hoi Goya pare Hanuman Chalisa Goya siddhi saki gaurisa Tulsidas sada hari chera Kije nath hridaya mandira Bhavanatanaya sankata harana Mangala murti rup siyaram Ramalakhan sita sahita Uday basaru surabhupa Syavara Ramachandra Padaje Sharanam Mangalamurti Martanandan Sakala Amangalamula Nikandan Mangalamurti Martanandan Sakala Amangalamula Nikandan Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Bolo Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Bolo Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Jai Siyaram Jai Baba Hanuman Sankata Mochan Kupanidhan Jai Jai Bajranga Bali Hanuman Sankata Mochan Kupanidhan Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Hanuman Sankatamochan Kripanidan Jai Ram Jai Jai Hanuman Sankatamochan Kripanidan Jai Bajrangi Jai Hanuman Sankatamochan Kripanidan Jai Bajrangi Jai Hanuman Sankatamochan Kripanidan Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram 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 Jai Sitaram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu 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 samasta sukhino bhavantu loka samasta sukhino bhavantu loka samasta sukhino bhavantu loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. I think we'll be here next week. Yes. Okay. Ram Ram Namaste. Take good care.